He's a great player, a point guard with strong ties to Oakland. He is a threat to shoot it from anywhere in the half court and dangerous when driving to the rim with an uncanny ability to finish with either hand no matter who is standing in the way. It would sound like this player was born with all the talent in the world and handed the keys to the NBA, but you would be wrong. He wasn't even considered to be a D1 college prospect his senior year out of high school, being a 3-star prospect ranked 2 stars in some cases depending on who you asked. Just for perspective, LiAngelo Ball was ranked as a consensus 3-star prospect coming out of high school. He has yet to play for an NBA team. This player I'm talking about, however, was not really recruited coming out of high school, as he was considered to be an undersized shooting guard. As such, he went to a small no-name college institution where he played for 3 seasons before being drafted in the top 10 of the lottery but outside of the top 5. He was drafted well below where he would be drafted today, and if you ask 4 of the 5 teams that passed on him, they would say they regret doing so. So who am I talking about? I just described both Damian Lillard and Stephen Curry. It is no surprise then that as of recently, the argument of which is better has been raging on sports networks and social media. I did my due diligence, and today I'll share with you what I came up with. The results are not as close as you might think, so let's get to it. Damian Lillard is an Oakland legend. He's the franchise player for the Portland Trail Blazers and is a bit of a trailblazer himself. With no direct path to the NBA, Lillard had to forge his own. Lillard grew up on the streets of Oakland, setting up at the Brookfield Rec Center on Sunday mornings, and would spend all day in the gym getting up shots and working on his game. He joined his high school team and made varsity as a 5'5" freshman. After a couple of transfers, he landed at Oakland High School for his junior and senior years, averaging 19 points per game and 22 points per game respectively. Lillard then accepted a scholarship to play for Weber State in the Big Sky Conference out in Utah, where he spent the next few years further improving his skills. At Weber State, Damian Lillard averaged 11.5. Stephen Curry, born in Akron, Ohio, had a bit of a different path to the NBA. Son of a former NBA player, Steph spent most of his years growing up in Charlotte, North Carolina, as his dad played for the Charlotte Hornets in Steph's younger years. Along with his brother, Seth, Steph made a name for himself in local circles, whether by those who knew his dad or by those he embarrassed on the court with his skills, as the pint-sized powerhouse left much bigger kids in fist-fighting rage. After a 1-year stint in Toronto where his dad was playing for the Raptors, besting much of his bigger competition, a 5'6" sophomore Steph had moved back to Charlotte and enrolled in Charlotte Christian, a North Carolina high school. Over the course of the next 3 years, Steph brought 3 conference titles to his team, as well as 3 state playoff appearances and earning all-conference and all-state honors. Upon graduating, Curry received a scholarship to play for a little-known Division I school in North Carolina, Davidson College. Steph averaged 21.5 points per game his freshman year, good for second in the nation, and broke the NCAA freshman record for 3-pointers made in a season with 113. His sophomore year saw Steph average 25.9 points per game and another 3-point record, this time the overall NCAA record, knocking down 159 threes for the season. In his junior year, Steph posted a staggering 28.6 points per game, leading the NCAA in scoring, and became a consensus first-team All-American. Following the end of this spectacular season, Curry elected to enter into the 2009 NBA Draft. Now let's pivot back to Damian Lillard and talk about handling. Lillard uses an aggressive and powerful drive to blow by defenders to get to the rim, quick on his feet, and finishes with above average athleticism, and he's not afraid to go in for the slam. Other times, he's content with pulling up for a mid-range too. Stephen Curry, on the other hand, doesn't have the athleticism that Dame possesses and uses advanced dribbling skills to throw defenders off balance with acrobatic and skilled finishing below the rim, with layups high off the glass, or just globetrotter Jedi mind trick moves that leave you wondering, how did that even happen? No matter how many times you replay what you just watched. Both are able to get their shots off easily when guarded by a single defender. While neither are known as mid-range specialists, Dame does have the pull-up off the drive that he knocks down with above average efficiency off the left elbow and well above average with a baseline pull-up. Steph is elite at just about every shot in the mid-range, with an elite floater game giving him a deeper bag than most elite shot makers when it comes to these particular shots. You can see Steph prefers to get these shots off on the right elbow, a stark contrast with Lillard. With the side-by-side visual, Damian Lillard has trouble knocking down shots at the top of the key, shooting at just 36%, which is slightly above league average from 3. His corner shots as well are below league average. Steph, on the other hand, is either above average or well above average in just about every category, from his layup efficiency to his outside shot and anywhere in between on any part of the court. There are no real apparent weaknesses except to prevent him from taking a shot. There's no bad shot for Steph, so his versatility is unmatched. In free throw shooting, both players are elite, with Lillard knocking down 89% of free throws over the length of his career and Steph knocking down 91%. Lillard currently has a franchise record of 67 free throws made in a row. Steph Curry currently owns the Warriors franchise record of 80 free throws made. Both players set these records in January of this year. How about their accomplishments? Dame won the Rookie of the Year award ahead of Anthony Davis and Bradley Beal, as well as First Team All-Rookie. Steph was the runner-up to Tyreke Evans for the Rookie of the Year title, however he did manage to make the First Team All-Rookie. I've deemed the All-NBA second and third teams not to be very relevant, so I've omitted those from this list. That being said, both players have made the All-NBA First Team, Lillard once and Steph 3 times. Dame is a 5-time NBA All-Star out of his 9 years in the league, likely to go up to 6 when the reserves are announced. This has been the peak personal accomplishment of Lillard's career. However, he has led the Trailblazers to the Western Conference Finals before being short-circuited by the Warriors. Steph had 36.5 points per game during the series to Dame's 22.3, with Steph shooting 43% from 3 to Dame's 37%. The 4-0 sweep saw the Warriors with multiple comeback victories after being down as much as 17 points at the half. While making the Western Conference Finals was quite the event for the Blazers, it was just another day for the Warriors. In contrast to Lillard, Steph is a 7-time All-Star in 12 years, missing only the 2020 All-Star voting due to injury. He has otherwise made the All-Star team every year since his first entry in 2014. Steph Curry has 2 MVPs, as well as the only unanimous MVP ever to go along with 5 NBA Finals appearances and 3 NBA championships, accomplishments made while facing Lillard as a direct competitor and LeBron James in the finals. It is no secret that Steph has accomplished more than Dame over both their careers. So why do people tend to question whether Dame is better than Steph? Mostly this is just due to recent performances. Steph is obviously the better all-time player. He has changed the entire culture of basketball. However, some argue that had Steph not come along a few years before him, Damian Lillard would have likely been able to accomplish this feat. This same argument was made by a published article a few years ago, but I could argue back, based on the shot charts, that it would have taken Damian Lillard much longer to convince his team and others that these shots were worthwhile due to his much lower efficiency. He might not have been allowed to take these shots without the efficiency of Steph, making these shots look okay in the first place. One could say that Steph Curry really paved the way for Damian Lillard. Lillard could have made progress, but it's doubtful that he would have had anywhere near the impact of Steph Curry. When it comes to the past year in review, it isn't always so clear who the better player is, especially when Steph missed an entire year of playing a la 2020. Currently, the Warriors are an 8th seed, while the Blazers, with arguably a similarly talented team, are tied for the 4th seed. The two teams, being in the same conference, arguably face the same or similar competition, with differences being due to injuries and COVID protocols, the great equalizer, which essentially changes the level of talent on a nightly basis. I've put together a few charts to show the progress of Dame and Steph's shooting over the years. I started with the year 2013, as that is the year both players were in the league and facing the same competition. We'll start with the 3-point percentage shot chart, which shows Steph shooting well above league average year over year except 2020, where he only had a handful of games from which to sample. This was the only year in Steph's career that he shot below 40%. Steph shot an average of 6.2% above the league average despite this anomalous 2020 season. If I remove that 5-game sample, which is a statistically negligible amount of games from the sample, Steph's average would be 7.8% above league average, which is much more representative of his shooting capability. Lillard, on the other hand, is a slightly above average shooter at 37.8%, which is 1.6% above league average. This puts Steph at 6% above Dame. In league speak, it isn't even remotely close. For perspective, Draymond is a 31.6% career 3-point shooter, which is, funnily enough, 6.2% less than Dame's. This means unequivocally, the difference in shooting efficiency between Steph and Dame is the exact same as the difference between Dame and Draymond. Next, I'll show their field goal attempts, which shows the number of shots taken by these players. You can see the two are much closer in this regard, with Steph taking more shots than Dame during the first few years of Dame's career, and Dame taking slightly more shots than Steph the last few years. And the final chart in this video shows the impact each player has, which is a combination of the player's individual impact rating combined with their field goal shooting efficiency. For the majority of Dame's career, he has fallen behind Steph in this statistic as well, except for the 2019 to 2020 season, where Steph played 5 games for the season. Judge that as you see fit. In my opinion, Dame is a very good player, while Steph is a great player. Steph has had a better career both individually and in a team setting, and the comparison between the two only serves to provide credence to Dame's career as to not have him overshadowed by Steph's greatness. It could potentially be argued that some are using the argument to try to take away from Steph's accomplishments by comparing him to Lillard instead of all-time great players. That aside, both are putting up incredible performances this year, and folks are looking for Dame's overall performance to eclipse Steph with his 3-year advantage. Barring a career-ending injury or unforeseeable decline in Dame's performance, it is something that could happen, but based on the numbers and accomplishments, we just aren't quite there yet. It's a shame really, because they all say respect the shooter, but more than half of NBA fans today don't respect the shooter. And that's it for today's video. So who do you think is the better player? Is Dame better than Steph at the moment? Will he surpass Steph's concurrent performance at some point in time? Or would that be a wild goose chase? Let me know what you think in the comments below, and be sure to like the video and subscribe for more content. Till next time, swish.
I block so hard, Smitty gets served. Call me Lonzo Ball, bitches get swerved.
Usually I don't get down with these girls, but tonight it's on my mind, so I might eat these words. I just wanna